and there's only one race, which is the human race. So.
Two aunties and their husbands and so many friends who were educated, wise, professional. First, they took them one by one and sent them away. Then 2, 3, and then little by little, the whole group was
gone. My great-grandfather's parents were actually victims of the genocide. He became an orphan at such a young age.
It's our ever existence as a second-generation American-Armenian growing up in Connecticut, and both grandparents came as orphans from the chart, the genocide, from the region of Kharpet. My grandmother ended up in Cleveland, Ohio in 1915. My grandfather was in also Hartford, Connecticut. My father was born here in the United States, so was my mother. Mother was born in Cleveland, Ohio. My dad was born in Hartford, Connecticut. And he raised 8 of us in Hartford.
I was only 3 months old, so I don't know anything about it, whatever is told to me. We were on the way to go to genocide, suicide, but one of my father's friend, who was Turkish, when he heard that we were going, he came during midnight, looked for us, and took us to his home to provide us safety. So after a night's rest, he provided us 3 donkeys. We were 2, 4, 6, or 8 hours. So on each donkey there was a box on one side, another box. And in the boxes they put the kids, and the grown-up lady was in the top to direct us.
The whole genocide has caused us to become this diaspora nation that several generations after, we have these different types of Armenians. And a lot of times we don't stand united because of that. So I think all of us being here today and all of us fighting for this one cause is just showing how we can be united and all stand together and fight against this one thing that we all believe in.
Armenians have always been in wars, and even when we were a big nation, we've always been around as long as the Romans and Greeks, Egyptians. During those times we were always a part of some sort of war or something like that, but I would say specifically after 1915, after the genocide, is when we got affected the most, because as a people we fell. We became part of the Soviet Union so quickly because we felt the need to be protected. We didn't have that anymore. As of 1990 was when we recently became a republic, and it's not, it's a very short amount of time, 20-some years, but so far we're getting back up there. All we want as a people right now is for the world to approve of the fact that there was such a thing as a genocide, as an Armenian genocide in 1915.
Years ago, it was about 2004, I had the opportunity to go visit schools in Gapan, Armenia, and went to Shushi, we went to Agdam and Stepanakert and Jermuk and different areas, and seeing how our counterparts are living there and how their school system is. But in Jermuk, I had an opportunity to get this pine cone, and it symbolized a lot to me. It really meant a lot to me to look at what our community and our people are going through. And just this little pine cone is a seed, and it plants trees, and it gives back to the earth and the world we live in. And we as American Armenians throughout the world, and wherever you may be from, it's from France or Lebanon or Syria and Beirut, and also in Iraq or Iran, whatever country you come from, we're all Armenians of different backgrounds, but with one common gaping hole is the genocide because of the Turkish government's denial.
I do try to do my part as much as I can. I mean, if I find a video or if I see something that's important, everyone else should know about too, or the word needs to be spread, I'll post it on Facebook or, post up a picture or something like that. But as a whole, I mean, I'm not part of any organization or anything, but I do commend the people who try and, do their best and have a big part in raising awareness.
Yeah, I think growing up as an Armenian, we all grew up with this sense of urgency to do whatever we can to support this cause. So me as an artist, what better way than raise awareness through my music? I really feel hip-hop is the voice of the youth these days, so this is my way of reaching the youth and the next generation. So I created the song Open Wounds, which obviously describes what happened during the genocide, but also what's happening right now, which I think is very important. And we're trying to reach the youth, and of course the Armenians are going to listen, but more importantly, we're trying to reach, the whole hip-hop community, or across all other races. Well, yesterday, actually, we had this song played on Eminem's radio station, Shade 45, which I think was just a great look for everybody. We had Sway from MTV post the video and tweet it. Just really getting it out there to a whole new population.
But the most important responsibility we have as a community is to understand and know our history. Know why what happened, the 4,000 years of our history in that homeland, and how we evolved here in the United States. Serving the Glendale Unified School District for the past 12 years and working with the tens of thousands of youth here in our community has given me more responsibility to educate them of the truth and justice, but also the history. It's important to learn about King Levan and King Dikran and Giliga and the history we have, and even knowledge of our Fedais from Kevork Çavuş and Murad and Serop and General Dro and Antranik, to learn about the history of the foundation, even to the most recent strife of Karabakh and Artsakh and what's going on in Armenia itself, and just the whole rich history that we have.
Typically on April 24th, my family and I, so my parents and my brother, we go ahead and go along to the Genocide Memorial, which is in Montebello, as many people know. The Archbishop of the Western Diocese of the Armenian Church comes and he speaks. He always gives a speech, and many times Congressman Adam Schiff comes along and goes ahead to give his speech of his own. So as a result, not only Armenians are people who visit this memorial, it's also people who have been victims of genocide in general as a culture, such as the Jews, the Holocaust, and also people who simply want to hear the speeches of officials such as Adam Schiff.
It's important to know your history, know why you're marching, what happened to our people, what happened to other genocides, and help stop and prevent future genocides.
Hopefully, in raising so much awareness, we will be able to have world recognition, official recognition of the Armenian Genocide, as the 100th year of its remembrance is coming soon in 2015. It's an inner injustice we feel that this tragedy that's happened within our culture has not been approved for so long. My grandpa, he's always, speaking about it and speaking of what happened, and the fact that he never saw grandparents, and he says how lucky I am.
The key thing here is Americans, and as American Armenians, we have a major responsibility not only to ourselves but to America too, but to our forefathers who sacrificed everything, who lost everything, lost their own children, their own homes, and everything in Armenia to come here. And now we're beginning a whole new life, and we're still striving as we approach 98 years of denial, and there's soon to be 100 years of denial. There'll be Turks who will never admit what they've done to our people. But what's important is to not let this pine cone this seed ever be planted. So I challenge our youth to stand up, be educated, and be good American citizens and give back to our country.
Vori